Wedding of the Year, Princess Leonor lavished Denmark ceremony goes global, the world expected beauty, elegance, tradition. But what unfolded in Copenhagen this week was far beyond that. It was emotion, power, and pure history in motion. The royal bells of Denmark rang across the city, echoing through centuries of monarchy, as Spain's beloved future queen, Princess Leonor, arrived for the ceremony the world is now calling the wedding of the year. Everyone thought they knew what to expect. But no one was prepared for the magnitude of what this day would become, a moment that united two royal houses, captivated millions, and transformed a young princess into a global icon. Because this wasn't just a royal wedding. It was a declaration of love, of unity, and of the future of European royalty itself. From the moment Leonor stepped out of her carriage, the world fell silent. Her gown shimmered under the Danish sunlight, a masterpiece of Spanish craftsmanship, woven with threads from Madrid's royal workshop and delicate Danish lace as a tribute to her groom's heritage. Every detail spoke volumes, about legacy, diplomacy, and the blending of two worlds. As cameras flashed, her calm, confident presence silenced even the most skeptical critics. For years, Leonor had been called the reserved princess, the quiet heir. But that day, standing on the cathedral steps, she was something far greater, a woman stepping fully into her destiny. Inside, the atmosphere was breathtaking. The Cathedral of Our Lady in Copenhagen glowed with golden candlelight, the scent of roses and jasmine filling the air. Among the guests were not just royals, but global leaders, cultural icons, and historic figures from across Europe. Queen Margrethe II of Denmark was one of the first to arrive, her signature poise commanding respect. But it was Queen Letizia of Spain who captured hearts, visibly emotional, her eyes glistening as she watched her daughter prepare to walk down the aisle. A mother's pride, impossible to hide. And beside her, King Felipe, a man known for his restraint, looked overcome with quiet emotion. In that moment, Spain's monarch wasn't a king. He was simply a father watching his little girl become a queen in her own right. When the music began, a breathtaking fusion of Spanish classical strings and Danish choral harmonies, the entire cathedral felt suspended in time. Leonor walked slowly, every step measured, yet filled with warmth. She smiled softly at the guests, and for a moment, even the most seasoned royal watchers forgot to breathe. Her groom, dignified, noble, and visibly emotional, waited at the altar. Their eyes met halfway down the aisle, and in that instant, the crowd erupted in quiet applause. It wasn't just royal formality. It was love, pure and undeniable. But what truly stunned the world wasn't the fashion, the ceremony, or the spectacle, it was the sincerity. Every vow, every glance, every gesture between Leonor and her husband carried a depth that felt disarmingly real. When she spoke her vows, her voice trembled ever so slightly. "I promise," she said, "to honor our past, to cherish our present, and to build a future where our hearts lead with purpose." The words were simple, but their impact, tremendous. In that moment, she wasn't just speaking as Spain's crown princess, she was speaking as a woman ready to lead with compassion, strength, and truth. As the ceremony continued, moments unfolded that will be replayed for years. Queen Margrethe placing a gentle hand on Leonor's shoulder during the blessing. The Spanish anthem softly merging into Denmark's royal march, a sound that symbolized unity across borders. Even the international guests seemed visibly moved. Members of the British royal family, representatives from Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands, all stood to applaud when the couple exchanged rings. But perhaps the most unforgettable moment came right after the ceremony. As the doors opened and the couple stepped into the bright Danish sunlight, a massive crowd erupted in cheers. The sound rolled through the streets, flags waving, confetti filling the air, and people crying openly in joy. This was no longer just Spain's royal moment. It belonged to the world. The carriage ride that followed was straight out of a dream. Horses adorned with royal insignias carried the newlyweds through Copenhagen's historic center, as tens of thousands lined the streets to witness history. Children climbed onto their parents' shoulders. Strangers hugged in the crowd. For one rare moment, the world felt united, not by politics or power, but by emotion. Spain's national broadcaster called it the dawn of a new monarchy. Danish media hailed it as Europe's fairy tale reborn. And on social media, Leonor trended globally for hours, her image symbolizing hope, youth, and grace. Yet behind the grandeur, there were subtle moments, personal, quiet, deeply human. Like when Leonor and her sister Sophia shared a private laugh at the reception, breaking the royal stiffness for just a second. Or when Queen Letizia adjusted her daughter's veil moments before the balcony appearance, a small, maternal gesture that melted hearts across the internet. As the sun began to set over Amalienburg Palace, the newlyweds appeared on the balcony to greet the cheering crowd. Cameras flashed as Leonor waved, not as a princess this time, but as a woman transformed. The kiss that followed was gentle, brief, yet full of meaning. It wasn't about spectacle, it was about sincerity. And perhaps that's why the world couldn't look away. Because in a time where monarchy often feels outdated, Leonor brought something back: humanity. Her composure, her authenticity, her willingness to embrace love publicly, it reminded millions that royalty doesn't have to be distant. It can be relatable, emotional, real. The reception that night was equally dazzling, a feast of Spanish and Danish cuisine, live orchestras, and heartfelt speeches. King Philippe's toast brought tears to many eyes. Today, he said, Spain doesn't just celebrate a wedding. We celebrate the woman my daughter has become, and the love she shares with a man who understands her duty, yet sees her first as Leonor, not as the crown. Those words defined the evening. Later, as fireworks lit up Copenhagen's night sky, Leonor was seen holding her husband's hand, looking out over the city. For a brief second, cameras caught her whispering something softly, "It's perfect." And it truly was. From Madrid to Copenhagen, from London to New York, the headlines were unanimous. A modern fairy tale. Princess Leonor redefines royal romance. The wedding that captured the world. Because in a single day, the young princess not only became a wife, she became a symbol of what royalty could be in the modern age: grounded, graceful, and gloriously human. The next morning, Spain woke up prouder than ever. Across the nation, people gathered in plazas and cafes, rewatching the ceremony, discussing every gesture, every word. For a country that has watched Leonor grow from a quiet child into a confident leader, this was more than a wedding. It was a renewal, of faith, of tradition, of identity. As commentators put it best, it wasn't just the wedding of the year. It was the wedding of a generation. And as the world moves forward, one thing remains certain: that day in Denmark will forever stand as a golden chapter in royal history, where love met legacy, and a princess became the world's newest symbol of hope. Because sometimes, the world doesn't need another fairy tale. It just needs a reminder that some stories, the real ones, are even more beautiful than fiction.